Is, are we really on live? We don't really know about all this. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic on this fine day. I know we're a few minutes early. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see if we're on live on the Facebooks. We never really know. We are on live on the Facebooks. We should be live on the IGs. Let's see. And we're going to go live on the IGs, and then we're going to go live on the YouTubes. But very cool. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. I'm sure this live will definitely lag because you know how technology is. But me and Lisa, we planned this before. I say, Lisa, it's Valentine's Day, so I really need you to wear red because I'm wearing red today. And I'm kidding. This was not planned at all. If you're excited for this live, comment some excitement down below. Show some love for Lisa. If you guys have questions, I'll be looking through all the different platforms and seeing if there's any questions for you guys or from you guys. But this is going to be a really good in-depth podcast style. Some level, it's a client interview, but the way that I'm treating these interviews are more value based and more of less about look how successful Lisa is because of Master Your Coaching. I want it to be more the audience to learn from this and have key takeaways from this rather than us bragging about how great we are. And I think that is valuable from all sides. It's valuable from our side because we get to have a great conversation. I think it's valuable from your side as well because you get to learn how to better your business. So with that being said, let's introduce one of our awesome clients, Lisa, to the show. Lisa, how you doing today, miss?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So for everyone who doesn't know, Lisa is what would you want to call yourself? You want to call yourself a DNA coach?
Yeah. I mean, I coach on DNA and epigenetics, and it's all about personalized health and performance.
Gotcha. And so tell us what that is and tell us a little bit about who Lisa is.
Sure. So my focus is really helping people identify the opportunities to be healthier and up their game, basically, from a health and performance standpoint. So when we have goals and we have, whether it's to lose weight or whether it's to run a marathon or, somewhere in between, it really is about identifying the underlying tweaks that we need to make for our bodies. So we as individuals have differences because of our DNA, and identifying those is super powerful.
Yeah. And so kind of tell us how you got into this and tell us a little bit about who Lisa was before she went into the online space. And then we'll get into all the craziness.
Yeah.
Trying to enter this online space. Go ahead.
A lot of craziness. So I had a wellness center for 11 years and I worked with people one-on-one, and it was great. I loved it. I was helping people. I had a center that, had a lot of overhead, but I got used to it and was, doing fine. And then I stumbled upon several needs of clients and realized that DNA was really hitting the mark for everyone. When people had symptoms, I was able to dive deeply into their DNA and understand better the root cause and nail it and really, laser focus, get into what could help them. And so the more that I realized that, and people who wanted to improve their performance, I was able to look at, where some of the areas that they could falter and then help them avoid those. So injuries and even how they could increase their speed and things like that. So I realized that I needed to focus on DNA, but I had a full-time job doing brain health. I focused on brain health before in my wellness center. So I decided to shift gears and slowly start to add DNA into the program and do that part-time and do the brain health part-time. And then when COVID hit, it was almost an opportunity. It was almost like a flag saying, okay, time's up, gotta go. Mm-hmm. So I sold the business and I moved on and started focusing on moving online.
Because why online?
Yeah.
No, sorry, continue.
Yeah. It's not, when I say started online. It's not a matter of just shifting and starting from one day to the next, as we will talk about. But why online? Because I wanted to reach more people.
Mm-hmm.
I saw such an opportunity to help a broader audience because it is something that's not available. And even though there are tons of DNA testing opportunities out there, for people to really understand their bodies and be walked through and coached through their DNA so that they can apply it to their lives in a way, in a meaningful way, and help them reach their specific goals, that is what's lacking. So that was why I wanted to go online.
And then tell us tell us the problems, Lisa, because I'm sure everyone's listening like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Because you had a previous coach, right? Or you had one. Did you have one business coach before? Like, kind of tell us the craziness you've been in the online space, the different coaches, courses.
So there are some great coaches out there, and there are some great programs out there, and I am not at all knocking them. I benefited from some of them, not just one, but some. And it was it so those programs were all about either creating the content, which was fantastic. We all need help getting over some of the hurdles. You're getting through the moments of self-doubt and, questioning whether you're able to do this, because there is a lot of technology that you can introduce. It's not necessarily required initially, but there are technical things that you need to jump through. And so, I did coaching with with a couple of different groups, and the coaching was great, but it was a little focused on an advanced mindset. So it wasn't necessarily the foundation of getting followers as much as it was developing the content, creating lead pages or landing pages and lead magnets and all of that, which I think is important. It's definitely important. But the challenge is you get all of those tools and all of those resources together, and you get so excited and you're ready to go, and then crickets. You have nobody to see it. You have nobody to hear it. Now, I do understand that the intention is then to take those landing pages and the lead magnets and start paying for ads.
Yeah.
But if you haven't refined your messaging and proven your program and gone through those, you're always going to feel like, the imposter syndrome surfaces and the doubt surface, because it's not a matter of a tried and true method. And I'm not saying everyone, because my program, granted, is a little more technical and a little more involved. So I'm really glad that I have my program completely buttoned up and done before I'm trying to deliver it. If I was trying to deliver it on the fly, it could be challenging because there's a lot of technical information about DNA in it. But, I think you still want to know that you have delivered information that's relevant to your audience, and it's successful for people. It's gotten them where you want to get them.
Yeah. I mean, this is because we're writing the email today, and one of the lines that I talked about was like, the reason why our program is called Master Your Coaching, or before it was Master Your Stutter. The term mastery has been a big aspect of my life in terms of mastering the art of sales. When I was doing public speaking and part of that game, or mastering my speech or business. And to me, the best definition of a master is someone who's a master of the basics. It's one of my mentors used to say that. A master is a master of the basics. And so to me, everything is about basics. So, like in my stuttering program, people used to be like, oh, just show me like the breathing techniques. Show me the breathing techniques, right? Show me the complex breathing techniques, right? And then to me, I would say, sure, 100%, we could talk about that. But like, if the foundations aren't in place, I don't even care how beautiful, complex, amazing this breathing technique is. Your mindset sucks. Mm-hmm. Your body language sucks. You don't even smile. You're walking around like a bag of negative energy, mm-hmm. and you expect this crazy breathing technique to fix every issue that you have, right? So, I mean, I don't want to get into that, but for business owners, it's the same thing. It's like, and this is because a lot of people, like even myself, right? What kind of got me into this game was I remember learning about like Russell Brunson and like the 2 Comma Club award. And I'm like, he's right. I have to get ClickFunnels.
Mhm.
And if I build all these funnels, I'm one funnel away, right? Who's ever seen that before? And then what happens is it's like, yeah, no, for sure. You build a funnel, you put a webinar or a lead magnet, and then percent. But when I got my first coach who isn't just trying to sell me ClickFunnels, I've realized I'm like, damn, what's a marketing message? How do you nurture an audience? What does that even mean, nurture an audience, right? Like, what is the proper content to actually, what's a promotion, right? Like, okay, if I get them into my program, how do I structure it? Like, there's all these things. How do I price my program? What's a good price? What's a bad price? How do I make an offer to some? There's all these fundamentals that are not in place. And what happens is very similar to yourself. Is there's a lot of people that are focused on, at least in my eyes, the second chapter of your business. Now, that doesn't mean it's not good to build a lead magnet. I think one of the things that Lisa has is a few things. Is the fact that she has that credibility, or she has past clients that she's worked with, right? And she kind of has that figure of authority. I love that. But to me, and we'll kind of talk about that, the biggest needle movers for you, working with us has been, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just like ensuring that the basics and the foundation are in place.
Mm.
And then from there, that gives you the confidence to then build all the complex systems. And that could be an automation. That could be a fancy membership area. That could be a fancy, even a program, right? Let's even just talk about building a coaching program. It's not about building this fancy membership with all these recorded content that you spent weeks and months and years trying to build, but it's launching a program before the thing is even built and then teaching it live and then getting feedback. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, that sounds scary, And so what happens is we do all these complex things and we're not actually handling the root of the problem. And so then you're like, why am I getting crickets? Why is no one signing up? Why is this not working? Well, you don't have the foundations. And so I don't know if you want to add to that, but for everybody listening, this is the secret to growing a coaching business. And this is what I really focus on. So, and I'll come back to you, Lisa, but like once Lisa does this, and now what I'm doing is I'm talking to Lisa about the advanced stuff. And what does that mean? Okay, so now you got your beta group. Let's see if we can get a few more people in the door. Now let's build, now once you teach it live, let's put it into a pretty membership area, record it. I'll show you the different softwares that I use. Okay, great. Now that you have your Facebook group, right? Even talking about a Facebook group, how basic that is. We can start running ads. And then, when someone opts into an ad, we can start running email automation. We can start to, whether it's a funnel to a webinar. This is where we go to phase 2. But when I saw Lisa from day one, it was like, we got to get these basics in place. So I don't know if you want to add to that, but I think that's extremely important. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when I talked to you and Devin about it, I think it's really reinforced that when we do our content, when we deliver our content, when we are working with our beta, those are the opportunities to really refine our messaging, identify who our target audience is even more. It's confirming, because of course ahead of time we're looking at who it will impact the most and who it's going to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But this is confirmation now when you have your beta. And if you are already spending money on ads and you're already out there trying to, gather as many people as you can, and you are tripping over yourself because you have so many technical glitches and you have so many other things happening, it's overwhelming and frustrating and doesn't give you the opportunity to really get everything aligned. And like you said, in a systematic way, lay the foundation, and you're starting up here building the scaffolding before you're even that high to work on the building. You should be working on the foundation. And so it's difficult. Sometimes it can be difficult because you need to be patient and you need to be able to see the big picture and not just be down in the weeds all the time and looking at the details of the program itself. So, you have to have those different perspectives of your own business. And I think that's where the coaching has really helped, because it's zooming in and zooming out in ways that the other coaching programs helped to a certain extent, but they had a very generalized approach, so that if everyone was going through the same system and the same process, not necessarily at the same time, but definitely it was that challenging of, like, if you were a little bit different, it just felt like you were like, you have to do this, you have to use this system, you have to use this automation system, you have to use this platform. And I love ClickFunnels. I mean, I personally have ClickFunnels, but I don't necessarily think that everyone at the very beginning needs that, and that expense can knock some people down. And when you start building up all the automation systems and all the the software that they say is required early in the game, I mean, you can throw yourself out of the game because you just can't keep up.
Yeah. And I love this because, I think you're a great example of someone who is extremely resilient, and you kept pushing through.
Yeah, you have to be resilient for sure.
Yeah, like you have to be. There's a few things, and again, I'm a foundations basic guy. Right? Like when I look at even myself, right? I think I tell every individual that I talk to, just because someone can pay for my program doesn't mean I want to work with them too. And so there's a power to that. And so what I look for in clients, it's not just what clients should look for in a coach. We can have that conversation. But what I look for in a client is I look for a few things, right? So you guys care if I'm a little bit raw on this call? I might upset some people. Okay. So the first thing is, number one, the best entrepreneurs are the most resourceful. Like, they figure things out. They know how to pivot. So even talking about what you're dealing with your coach, you're like, well, if you don't do it my way, we don't talk to you. Sure. Got it. To me, I think the best entrepreneurs are the most adaptable, right? Or the most understanding, right? Or the most like, okay, so let's see how we can figure this out. Okay. Whenever I see a client, I think Lisa is someone who's very resourceful. Another thing is being very resilient. Like keep getting punched down, and then show up. It's like that example of that 3 feet away from gold, where you see that guy chipping away, and then just as he's about to get it, he turns back around, and then you have the guy below. He's like a younger person, but he's chipping away. I think you're someone, Lisa, that keeps pushing through, and that's why I'm not surprised when you get success, and that's why I'm not surprised when I see people sign up and put their faith and trust into you.
Well, and we'll speak to that.
Tell me.
It's about your why. It really is digging down. And speaking of layers, it's like you have to look at the reason underneath the reason. So if somebody asks you, why did you get into, DNA coaching? Yeah, I have a basic reason. But then you have to ask yourself again, well, why is that important to you? And then again, why is that important to you? You have to dig deeper, because ultimately you are going to be tested. And if you don't have an emotionally triggering reason to do it, it's going to be really hard to stick with it. But resilience is built into like your reasoning. Like if you have a deep emotional reason for doing something, then you can power through just about anything. Yeah.
And I think that's what's needed. I mean, I think I've talked about this on one of my lives recently. I just talked about like, it's you get what you deserve. And so, for a lot of people who, whether you're a coach or an entrepreneur, you're trying to do something, you're most likely trying to achieve something that most people don't accomplish. Like even what Lisa accomplished, it's nothing like, wow, unbelievable, but it's still a big deal of what she accomplished. And, but she's also someone who keeps on showing up. And from there, well, most people kind of throw in the towel and quit. She pursued, and then right around the corner, boom. This is how our first call went, right? Like, what's happening? What are we doing here? Are you gonna keep pushing through? Come on, And so I think this is part of the journey, the transformation. That's really what I've realized with coaching is whether you're selling a DNA program, a business program, a stuttering, it's just transformation. You are transforming as an individual. You are breaking certain beliefs. You are changing the current old identity of you. You are recommitting to the thing that you committed to, right? One of my favorite lines is commitment is sticking to something after the emotion has left. right? And so to me, it's the people that commit and keep pushing through and keep adapting, and you come out with that launch and you get crickets, and then you push through again, and then all of a sudden, like whenever you see these success stories of these marketers who go, I did $1 bajillion in 12 months, right? What you're not seeing is the last decade of what they were doing. It's very rare you see someone with no experience come in and do these crazy numbers. And so the thing I really like about you, Lisa, and I think you are a good testament if everyone's taking notes, is someone who, there's actually a few things that Lisa does. She's a resilient, she's not a, she's not a first-time business person, right? So you've run businesses before, so you get it. You're very resilient. You keep showing up. You're also very consistent. I don't think you ever miss any coaching calls. And when you do, you let everyone know that you can't show up to a coaching call. That's how I work. The other thing is we offer a lot of one-on-one coaching within our program. I see Devin's calendar. Lisa's pretty much on that calendar once a week.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm the same way. Like I'm part of a coaching program. I'll be the first one in line. I got a question. Hey, da-da-da. Hey, da-da-da. Hey, da-da. Like you're not scared of like, well, I don't want to bother you or, whatever, right? There's some BS thing. Like as an entrepreneur, you come in, I'm getting it.
Yeah. You have to be
through. Tell us.
You have to be assertive, but also I will say, to speak to the program itself, I mean, you can't escape Devin. Like he'll see you. He'll see you if you're trying to fade into the background, or he'll see you even if you are afraid to like speak up, and he'll notice. Like he has like radar or something. Like he can figure out that you need some support. So I definitely don't shy away, because I know there are some basics that's the whole point of the program, is to get the help. But yeah, it's I have to give, kudos to the program itself, because, it's built to support people in all phases.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's kind of been one of my biggest things is I want to build, I want to build a great program. I want to build a program that not just looks great online and there's a lot of marketing, but I want to build a great back end. And to me, that's how you build a great company. I think there's some people that can get clients overnight, and you're very similar to me. That's why you took your time. You're like, I want to have a good program. I remember there's a healthy balance of, you can't just be in perfection mode all the time and you get no clients.
Yeah, that is a big problem. And I think being able to, I think that this program has helped me move forward, even when there is fear or concern that things aren't completely buttoned up. And it's just, you just get out there, do the lives, do this, get people, talk to people, because once you're out there, you're able, again, it's testing the waters, it's getting confirmation or redirecting. And until you get that feedback loop going, you're always going to be in your head and you're always going to get stuck. I'm not saying always stuck, but you can get stuck. There's always that potential of getting stuck when you're not getting the feedback and you're not opening yourself up to your potential clients.
Cool. So let's talk, first off, love that. So now let's talk about more strategy. By the way, if you guys have questions, whether on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just text us down below, and then I'll bring it up, because I want to create more of that conversational type of live. But for you, tell us, like, what are some specific things that really helped you? Because you went from crickets, and then you enrolled a batch of clients last couple of weeks, and there's a sense of clarity. So what were the things that were most impactful? Like for the new coach watching, for someone who's going through what they're going through right now, what were the biggest things for you that you had to go through? So fear, pushing through fear and not trying to be perfect. What else?
Yeah. I mean, I think just the self-doubt, and it's almost like it's never ending. Don't feel like you push through one time and, oh, the fear's back, so now I have to stop because it's back, and obviously I'm not meant to do this. It's always going to come up. We're human. And especially when you care about it, you want to make an impact. You want to help people. It's not about making money. It's about making a difference and making an impact. And I think when it becomes something bigger than yourself and it matters so much, then yeah, you're going to have fear, because it's just, you're human. And so I think there's that. And I believe that just feeling in some situations, and I'm not knocking any of the coaching programs because I think they're great.
Please knock them. Lisa,
But,
please knock them. Just say, Daniel, I'm totally
right.
fine. Continue.
But in some programs, they are positioning it where you have to do it this way, or you'll never succeed if you don't position yourself in a particular way, or if you don't use this system, or if you don't create, if you don't have 10,000 followers in the next year, like, you're going to fail. I just think that there are a lot of standards that are being put out there that we as coaches and as entrepreneurs need to appreciate, that in our industry, in our arena, it will vary, and we have to be within our comfort zone of how we're delivering our content and how things are. In my case, I wanted to have my content recorded, and that's just because I had so many details, again, that it's so technical, and so I did. But I don't feel that everyone needs to do that, and in fact, I don't think most people need to do that. So I think that there were a lot of areas where I had misconceptions based on the coaching that I had had before of what I do. And then when I came into your group, it was basically put one foot in front of the other and move forward. And here's what you can do to start your connections with people and building your audience in a way that isn't costly, and it isn't going to put yourself in front of the masses all at once either. As much as we might want to, I don't know that that's a good strategy, to be out in front of the masses right away.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, I just want to give that, I want to give some perspective, or I want to repeat that again. Basically, like, she came from a coaching program, and maybe some of you were just like, well, this is exactly how it works. Don't ever tweak it. Don't ever, like, and so there's pros and cons to that. Like, I understand, like, as a sales manager, like, you got to make sure that the reps say those scripts word for word. And that's why that's not sure. I get that. But I think there's also different personalities. I think me and Devin, at least the way that I want to build this program, this coaching program, is about knowing how to be adaptable for different characters and personalities. You build the same roadmap for everybody, but you got to be able to handle different personalities. If you have Lisa with a decade plus of business experience, and you have someone else who's kind of newer versus someone who's done millions of dollars versus someone who's just starting off, every individual is going to need a different thing. And so, even to all my coaches out there, build a yellow brick road for your coaches. And by the way, look, we do a group call. Like, for all of you guys, well, that's why I only do one-on-one coaching. We'll talk about that, Lisa. There's a power in both. There's a power in group calls. There's a power in personal calls, right? It's, again, you're getting stubborn. I can only do one-on-one calls. Again, that's where you're getting too close-minded, right? Then the second thing she says, and this is what I also want to talk about, because I also want to talk about the Facebook group funnel. This is, I would call it my staple of what I teach. It's funny because the Facebook group funnel isn't just the only reason why you're going to be successful. Like, for Lisa, I think some of them might have came from her Facebook group, right? Or maybe, or maybe some of them were kind of like lingering around, but they knew her from before, whatever. It doesn't matter. But the Facebook group, at least in my eyes, is like a great place to practice your training wheels, right? So, for example, for you, Lisa, I think you had, let's just say, at least one person who was in your Facebook group that joined the program, right? Okay. Now, maybe some of them were referral based. Maybe some of them, like, were kind of looking at Lisa over the years, or maybe she built the confidence. But the point was, the Facebook group built a lot of the momentum that she's in right now, whether she realizes it or not, because it gave her the confidence to go on live, or to share stuff, or to get clear on, what do I call this group? It starts to become real. And then you start to fill the party up. And what I love about it is, it's very, like, if you think about it, Lisa, what software or tech have I got you to spend money on? Nothing. And you've enrolled whatever it was, four beta clients, or 3 beta clients?
5, yeah.
5. Always under, say what she did. So 5 beta clients. I want to put that into perspective. She got 5 clients in the door with no money spent on softwares, no money spent on these complex things.
Right.
Why? Because it's get the foundations in. What's the foundations in this case? Does the coach understand what she's offering? I think the truth was you built all these different things, Lisa, and I don't think there was still a solid foundation of what are we offering. And she built funnels and lead magnets. Okay, that's number one.
Right.
Number two, can we put this into an offer sheet? And so when you show someone what the program is, can you clearly explain it? And then third, can you get someone onto a call? And that's what happened. And it's crazy because you have complex system over here, which is all these different things, and then simple system over here that gets 5 clients in the door. It blows my mind every single time. And I think the thing that I do really well, and this is not meant to brag about how great I am, because that's not the intention. The intention is also to realize who's coaching you. And I don't know Lisa's last coach or whatever the case is, but I'll tell you this. The reason why I can show Lisa with confidence and be adaptable is because I didn't take a course showing people how to build a coaching business. Or I wasn't like, I ran an agency back in the day and I ran Facebook ads and content for coaching companies, so I know how to. No, I built a stutter coaching business from the ground up. I didn't know a single person who stuttered. I had to build trust. I didn't have a lot of money, and I had a ton of back against the wall living for months to figure this out. And then I did it, and then I sold, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a speech therapist. And so there's a power to that. And so this is for everyone. When you're looking for a coach, always look at what has this person done. They can only really show you and have confidence in what they've done themselves. I don't know if you want to add to that, Lisa. But I love hearing things like that when you're basically getting money from the marketplace. Think about this, okay? She got these 5 clients. We don't have to get into rates, but a decent rate that I would say. Would you agree, Lisa?
Yes.
I'm trying to not talk about numbers because sometimes no one cares about numbers. I mean, people do, but I think it's more about that you have someone who's a professional, make it happen. That's and the character development. But 5 clients paid her. Technically, what's her overhead? Well, Daniel should pay for your coaching program. Fine, but that's whatever. What business fixed cost does she have? 0. You know what we'll throw in there? We'll throw in Zoom. Lisa, do you pay for Zoom every month? Okay, you got me. $15 a month, right, Lisa? How much pay for Zoom every month? 12, 15?
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
Sure. And if she wants to save that $15 a month, she can go on Google Meets.
Right.
Maybe get it for free. Facebook group, a free Calendly, but the fundamentals is knowing how to actually start conversations and show people what she has to offer. And so I think that's so powerful because you think about it, right? Any business, there's always fixed costs. If I started a drop shipping business, right? To buy this product, I have to figure this out, right? If I want to, I don't know, I can go down the list. But as a coaching business, it's a very high profitable margin business because what are you really paying for? Now, when you start adding all these complex softwares, it's different. But it blows my mind that you're able to make this much money and majority of it, if anything, all of it was profit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is massive. And I don't know if you want to add to that because that's extremely powerful.
Yeah, I think it's just the opportunity to reach the people that you're targeting to validate in the beta, because that's the other thing is keeping it small, 5 or 6 people is an advantage, where in some of my other programs, it was all about, getting, 20 people in, starting just Zoom. You've got to get everybody in at once and start ads and do all of these things up front. And I hesitated. I know it wasn't because they weren't giving me any information that was valuable. It was just that I needed to prove my program was working and that I had the right target. So it is all of those things that plays into where you land. Like there may be some people who can just put it out to the masses and feel comfortable. But even if you think about it from a time standpoint, and if you're doing group coaching and you have an individual element, and like I do have one-on-one coaching at the very beginning, and I have one-on-one coaching at the end. And if anybody needs it in between, it's offered.
Love that.
But it's a matter of like, think of your first time around with it and then having 20 people all of a sudden that you have to fit into the first week. You're launching your program, you're launching your actual content for the group, and then you also have to fit in 20 one-on-ones, and you've got all these other, you haven't worked out all of the glitches and all of the technical requirements. So I think it is, and even the content, refining the content as you go, it's always going to be a work in progress. In my opinion, it's a continuous improvement commitment. So being able to act on the fly during the beta, having 5 or 6 people in it is a huge advantage, because then you're refining. I'm actually writing my procedures as I go. So I'm establishing procedures that, what?
I love it. Hello, kitty cat. I know she wants to be famous. He or
Right.
she. Oh,
Oh.
there's 2 of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
but I think when it comes right down to, getting your message across and getting everything, reaching the people,
Mhm.
you want to have that opportunity to refine your message.
So, Lisa, this is what kills me the most. Okay, you ready? You're just such a smart, competent, intelligent, so much knowledge. You've been in business for how long, Lisa? A decade? How long did you run your business for? Like, you would say you consider yourself a business owner. Like, you've run a business for how long?
So the health niche I've been in for about 13, 14 years.
13 years. And did you run a business before that, or was that your first real business? Okay, so I'm gonna go 2 decades. Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
nice. Okay, you've
Yeah.
been in business. Why the heck does smart Lisa need to hire some crazy Italian guy from Canada as a coach? That is craziness. You
Yeah.
can just go on YouTube and go get a course.
Yeah.
Lisa's good. I'm curious to hear, because I really want to paint this picture, because what you're not also seeing from Lisa is the ability to be humble and to be like, look, I've been in business for years. I know the power of coaching and mentorship, and I'm willing to make it happen. And we don't have to talk about our first conversation, but it was making it happen, but being resourceful. And so tell us about that. Tell us about that,
Yeah.
Lisa, because I respect the heck out of you. That's how I am, but I want to hear it from yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like you reach a point where, first of all, as an entrepreneur, you're working, at first at least, alone. I don't have a team. I'm on my own. I'm doing this. I think I'm hitting the mark. I think I have the right content aligned, and some of the right tools figured out, and yet when you really put pen to paper and say, okay, but what have you actually done? Like, from a business standpoint, for this DNA business, I hadn't made any money. And I was working one-on-one with clients when I had my center, and I had done DNA consultations and things like that. But, it wasn't at scale like I'm doing now. And so I look at the need for a coach, and you do kind of shrug it off at first, because you think, well, I've had coaches before. Like, what can Daniel offer me? What can, I mean, you have to ask yourself, because it's an investment. But that's where it is. I mean, every coach needs a coach. You need to collaborate. You need to have people guiding you. You need to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. And it's an opportunity to raise your game a lot faster than trying to do it on your own. So yeah, there's the game of time, and then there's the opportunity to invest in a coach and actually shorten that time of being able to get it off the ground and get moving and actually do what you are planning to do. And my goal is to help people now.
Yeah. I love that. Was there anything specific that you remember from our first conversation that was like, that's what I needed to hear, or that was really good? And this is for all coaches, right? Because I want you to look at, I'm a coach, Lisa's a client, she's also a coach, which is fine. But what were some of the things that were like, you know what, I trust Daniel, and I'm willing to put the bet on him? What was the thing? This is for everyone listening. Because
I mean, I just think that I had talked to other coaches even in the time frame that I hired you. I had talked to a few other coaches, and they were, worthy. It wasn't, it wasn't any kind of personality conflict or anything like that. But I think what was most compelling for me was the commitment to work one-on-one the fact that you and Devin are in this together and working towards the goal of, you know, bringing people who are coaches, like it was totally focused on coaching, you know, coaches.
Mm.
And I think that, so it wasn't like people all over the board, but I really think it was the fact that you were committed to helping people you knew you could help. And the fact that you believed in me, because like you said earlier in the conversation, you don't necessarily just let anyone join. And I appreciate that because not everyone is ready for it. Not everyone is positioned for it. And you know, I think it's not about the money. It's about who you can help, and it's about how you can advance someone's business in a positive way. So the fact that you believed in me and in my business was really important. That was a big part of it.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify. So for everyone listening, right, when you're selling your program, because this is at some level, this is market research, right? So there's a few things. What did she say? The first thing she said was, I love that you were very niche focused. Did you hear that? Was the first thing she said. See, if I was a guy like, I help coaches, course creators, business owners, agencies, I have all these different people. Oh, you run a restaurant? Come into my program. We'll help you out. Again, when you try and talk to everyone, you end up talking to nobody. I was talking to one type of group, and it's just like my stuttering program. I'm a stutter coach. Now you might say, but Daniel, how about the other people that don't stutter? You're right. But the people that do have the exact problem that I'm solving feel like I'm the person for them. So we have to get very clear on a niche. Okay, number one. The second thing she says was, I believed in her. So first off, what did I do? I said, I framed it in a way of like, look, just because you can pay for my program doesn't mean I want to work with you. So what did I do? Now I put myself as a figure of authority. And genuinely, if you're going to say that, you got to mean it. I mean it. I do it by a few ways. Here's a price. Does it scare you? Okay, great. Number two, I'm going to throw a ton of things at you. If you don't align with it, great. We're not going to be a good fit with one another. Three, can I say things that may offend you? And if you get offended, we're not a good fit. And let's even go back to that. It's about, can you be completely yourself with a prospect? That's actually how I filter people out. I'm going to just say a bunch of things. Let's see how they respond. And when you're first beginning, you're like, but I need these clients. I got it. But then you'll get to a place where you're like, look, I don't just because you can pay doesn't mean I want to work with you. So that was another thing. Then the final thing she said, is this making sense, guys? By the way, if you're getting some value from this, I see you guys on Instagram and Facebook. Comment down below. Give Lisa some love. Come on. Okay. The third thing she says was this. I believed in her. And it's hard to explain, but it's almost like not habitual, but it's so funny. It's like a script. Every single time I see someone who's about to enroll into my program, I don't know what it is, but I guess I built enough authority and credibility in someone's eyes where they want to trust me. There's a lot of fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. What if I'm a scam? What if, I say one thing and I don't follow, whatever, right? All these different things. And there's always this one key moment. They go, do you really believe it can happen for me? And it's the funniest thing. And you might get this, Lisa, when you talk to someone, do you really think I can fix my health? And for me, or they'll get like, do you really think I can really do this? And I remember so many people asking me over whatever the years or whatever the case is. And as a coach, what's your job? Is to believe in them more than they believe in themselves right now. Is for you to paint a picture that they're having a hard time seeing. It's blurry for them. But you come in and you give them a clear vision of where they're going to go and a sense of confidence and conviction that we're going to make it happen. I don't know how. I could not guarantee Lisa anything. I could not guarantee and predict that this thing was going to happen, but I put that out there and I gave her that confidence. I don't know how right now. I don't know how, but definitely. And so as a coach, you got to realize these individuals, they're looking for a coach because they don't fully believe in themselves. There's belief there, but your job as an actual coach is to give them the confidence that we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to add to that, but does that make sense, guys? There's three things. Niche. Okay. 2, I put myself as a figure of authority. You want to know how to put yourself as a figure of authority? You ready? Who's the person that will always win in a negotiation? Or the person who has the bigger hand in negotiation? Do you know what it is, Lisa?
The person who will win in a negotiation?
Or the person who has the bigger hand in negotiation, has more of an influence, or just has a bigger hand, or maybe a bigger hand's the wrong way, but yeah, has more pull in negotiation.
Probably the one who has nothing to lose.
The person who's willing to walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
The person who's okay with walking away.
Yeah. And especially when you're a coach, I think that's a big thing, because even with my business, if I want health more than the person that I'm talking to, that's a problem. And I mean, I have questions to ask about that before I can accept a person as a client, because I don't want them to spend the money if they're not going to be able to put forth the effort to learn about their DNA and their health, because it's a huge payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to go through some different steps than they've gone through before in order to achieve a different outcome. And if they're really just wanting me to hand it to them on a platter, the way that, they would have maybe expected it in the past, going to a doctor or going to a practitioner and saying, fix me, it's probably not right at the right time for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to walk away because I've introduced to them the concept. And that's really my job, is to introduce the fact that DNA can provide you with a whole different approach to health. Preventative, protective, supportive of your goals, all of that. But if a person doesn't want their health and they're not, the pain of their change that they would have to make is greater than their pain of their problem,
Mm-hmm.
then they're not going to move forward with it and really embrace it. And that's where I agree completely. It's not easy, because you want to help everyone. You want to help. I'm sure that when the coaches are on the calls and you can see them slipping away in the way that, like, their mindset or whatever's not quite right yet, and you're already realizing that you're probably not going to accept them into the program, and it's an unfortunate feeling because you want to help everyone, but it's just not the right time. And you just have to have faith that there will be a better time for them to come back.
But as a coach too, right? Because one of my pillars is being able to charge your worth, and that means maybe having a premium, especially your time. Your time is valuable, right? And if you give time away and without a care, like, you'll create a little jail cell for yourself, right? And
people they need to invest in the outcome that they desire. People, will pay attention when they pay the price.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate. I've seen it. I've actually, given away time and given free sessions and done things like that with the intention of just really trying to pay it forward. And then they don't even embrace it or benefit as much as the people who did pay the price for the program. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed in a coaching environment, because I'm not saying you never want to give away anything, but I do think that for the big shifts and the big transformations, it should cost a price.
Of course.
They have to pay the price.
It was one of our conversations too. That's the level of commitment that needs to get done, and this is for everybody, right? Whenever I study an individual, I look at all aspects, right? I look at Lisa; she committed. She went all in, even when she joined the program, right? Every little detail. There was no, toe in, toe out. It was all in, and we're making this work. And that's the level of commitment. And so for you as a coach, you got to be extremely great at being able to pull that out of someone. And how do you do that? Listen, if I want this more than you want this, we ain't going to work together. Right. And so even recently, like the last couple of weeks, I've had some people like, hey, can I pay this much? And then, I can pay more. Like, it's like, unfortunately, like, this is the price of the program. And what happens is I'm willing to walk away from the deal. And when you do that, it's funny because you're like, but I'm losing out. It's all these things, right? Just like a niche. I'm willing to walk away from these people, a whole niche. It's all these things. But this is the secret to creating success in this game. It's because people can feel it in your marketing. They can feel it on your sales calls. They can feel it in the messages. They can feel it in the every little in the negotiate everything. But you got to have that first within you. Even like how we're charging our beta rates now. We've actually everyone's up in the rate now, right? So like because the way I did it when I first had my first beta program, it was $300. You know, because that's I don't know, I whatever, right? But now everyone's charging much more than that. I love that, right? And so the point is if you go back to what Lisa said, and this is for everyone listening. Number one, the niche. I felt like you weren't talking to everyone. You were talking to exactly who I am. Love that, right? Number two, I built myself as a level of authority and I was a credible source, and I was willing to technically even walk away from the deal. And that you may say will upset people. Sure. But you'll get the level of respect from the right people, which actually matters to me more. Right. Mm-hmm. The final thing that I believed in her. Now, if you believe in someone without being a figure of authority, that's different. But the fact that I've built myself up, there's a whatever you want to call it, right? Level of authority, credible source, whatever the case is, an expert. When you do that and then you show that person that no. It's not that I believe in you because I want you as a client. No.
Right. It's also about commitment, because your belief in me was, was demonstrated in a commitment to my success too.
Yes. And so that's, I mean, that's what it is, right? Like it goes like this, right? Because one of my biggest lines goes, if I'm going to bring you on, your success becomes my success. Mm-hmm. Right? Do I want to carry that weight?
Right.
That's it. Do I want to carry that weight on my shoulders? I don't know. I can pay for it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bring that into my world. Right. And so for Lisa, it was cool, And then it was final. It was like, this person believes in me. And the words that I said, and this is for everyone listening to how they should implement it. You make it very clear that it's funny because it sounds so backwards. I'm allowing you into my program. You may laugh at that, right? Oh, look at this coach. I allow you to pay me, client or prospect, right? But that needs to be the mentality. That's why you don't have the success that you have, because you undervalue yourself. Is this making sense, guys? But I go, I believe in you. And I go, all right, Lisa, I believe in you. And I'm willing to take on the fact that we're going to make you successful. I'm signing myself up for that. And for me, like, I don't even work in these 90-day chunks. Okay, Lisa, your 90 days are up. I'll see you later. Did you get success? Well, thanks for your business. We'll see you later, right? No. I committed myself to make sure she was kicking butt. And this is even the way you offer the program. Are you fully committed to their success? Whatever that means. Now, could I guarantee that Lisa, blah, 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 has all these clients that sign up? And no, I can't. But I can be committed to make sure that I give her everything she needs, and I go above and beyond to make sure she has a level of support, feedback, strategy, time, energy, everything she needs to be successful. Now, I built the system for it, but I really want to make that very clear for everybody. And so I think that's a powerful lesson to understand. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, that's a big thing, because I think when you're building your program and you're building your offer, you do need to keep in mind that they have to put forth the effort in order to see the results. So it's not just a matter of, your system failed that person if they don't put forth the effort.
Yes.
So I think it's something that, to rework your mindset of a guarantee, let's say, and making sure if you're going to offer a guarantee, that's great, fantastic. But just make sure that you're also considering and writing into it that, they are going to play the game. They're going to actually put themselves out there and do the work to it and demonstrate that they have tried it at least, because they can't just sit back and expect it to work if they're not doing anything.
And this is, I mean, even the way that I filter that out too, right? Like if I'm even going to make that guarantee to someone, well, it ain't going to be at a low price.
Right.
You're right. Like, how I find the committed people, this is the rate. oh, you can't pay it in 1, 2, or 3, chunks or whatever the case is. And if you break it over 2 or 3, it's going to cost you more. Yeah, I don't want your business. And I do that in a way to push people of like, look, I'm committed to give you this. But if you think you're going to get it and you're going to get a ton of discount or out of this ridiculous payment, no, it ain't going to work like that. And so to me, that's how I filter people out too. Hey, these are my standards. Do you like it? No, I don't. Okay, great. We don't fit. And so it's all of this. But what I've realized being in the online coaching space for a couple of years now, once you have the formula, like I love our clients. There isn't really anyone in my program I would say, oh my God, what a pain in the butt.
Well, everyone, that's the other thing about the program is, I mean, I consider it like a little family or team because we all work together on things. We talk about, how to move forward. If we have an issue, we jump in and help each other. I mean, it just, to me, that's what it's about. It's almost like, an internal, like little mastermind inside this coaching group. And that to me is really powerful because we're all coaches. We're all really passionate about what we're doing. And I think it is in part because of the price we pay to get into this program. And it's somewhat of a qualifying factor. You're qualifying your people getting into this program by charging them a certain amount, and then that they're committed to their plans. They're actually going to put forth the effort, and it's all built into it.
Well, I also want to talk about that because again, I think there's a lot of coaches out there that have these clients that emotionally drain them. And there's another thing that I want to brag about. I think we got great clients. I think we got the best clients. And it's because why? Because it's a few things. One, we set the right expectations off the bat. If they don't align, they don't align. Second, we give the clients the actual runway and support system that they really need because I've been the client before and I know what I need. What I don't need is email us and we'll get back to you in 48 hours. It drives me up the wall. What I know people need is they need a level of support and accountability. It's what most people need. But that's expensive. That's hard to implement and embed.
Yeah.
It's hard to embed a Devin into a business that has the emotional intelligence and intuition to be like, this is what Lisa needs right now. It's hard. So I've built the business in a way where it doesn't drain me. That's more important than the person doing hundreds of thousands a month and is trapped in a box. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, as we kind of wrap up a little bit, Lisa, for you, talk about the community because I think that's extremely important. I mean, we obviously have our Facebook group where everyone's watching this, but talk about our paid community. And I don't know have you experienced a community like this before, or is this one of the first times where you've built a little family? Tell me.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of communities before, but this community by far exceeds any expectation because everyone is rooting for each other. There's no doubt about that. And reaching out to each other, we're helping each other figure out, and it's not in lieu of help from you and Devin because we are also getting help from you two. But I think that it's, just asking each other, oh, I saw that you did this. Can you tell me more about it? I have a call on Friday. I've talked to a lot of the members directly, and I look at an opportunity. How can I give? How can I support? What experience do I have that I could provide some value? And I think that that's really what it seems like everyone in the group feels that way. And so it's really amazing. And yes, we do get busy and we have a lot on our own plates, but when we're able to give to each other and support each other, we're going to all succeed that much faster together.
I love that. Then the last and final question would be, anyone on the fence who's thinking about joining, what would you say to them? And then, like any other words you would give to the new coaches, or, like any person you want to shout out, maybe shout out Devin, any final words that you kind of want to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I think for people who are on the fence, if you need coaching, if you need some one-on-one support, if you end up in a situation and you find yourself struggling with self-doubt or struggling with technical issues or not sure where to go, how to establish your following, things like that, this is absolutely the program to go with. Just call Daniel. But
Hello.
but yeah, set up a call. But I mean, I want to shout out all the members for sure, because everybody is just, I mean, I haven't met one single person that hasn't just been amazing. And I definitely special shout out Devin, because I'm telling you, I am not exaggerating when I tell you I'll be sitting at my computer and I'm thinking, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. I'm not sure about this. I'm going to put this on a list. And as soon as I start writing a list of questions just to prepare for when I do talk to Devin, he will send me a message saying, hey, I think we need to schedule a time. What? So yeah, he's definitely got things figured out. He knows when he might have a little bit of ESP. I don't know.
Well, you'll be working with him. Is that correct? Yeah. So, regardless, we really appreciate you, Lisa. I think this is why I do what I do, to see the transformation in people's lives and to get them on the right path. I think, sometimes we're sold this dream of we're going to be super rich and super successful. But I think, to me, this actually is what matters the most, is about going down the journey of transforming to the version of ourselves. And it's funny because when success comes, it actually comes really quick. But it's about having these fundamentals in place first. And basically what I do with everyone is, let's just get these fundamentals in place. And then from there, it's like voomp. And then it's like, you're ready for the voomp. And so for you, Lisa, I'm super proud of you. I'm glad to have you part of our family. And if you guys are watching this on live, give Lisa some love down below. If you got some value, please comment. I see all the comments in our Facebook group. Yvonne said the funniest thing. She's like, what did you say, Yvonne? She's like, I'm yelling at my phone. Yes. Yes. I don't know what she said, but that was awesome. I appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some value from this. And Lisa, any last words?
No, just go get them. Make your dreams a reality and actually start the transformation for others and for yourselves.
Appreciate you guys all, and go join Lisa's group and go follow her on Facebook.
Awesome.
Peace.